Applejack finally snaps by Dapper Lil Arts. Applejack was usually an even-tempered mare. She prided herself on her kindness, on her reliableness. She loved helping others. Yes, at times, her anger could get the better of her, a natural symptom of a difficult childhood with plenty of support. She knew those outbursts were an issue that she needed to quell quickly, and many times she knew right from wrong. But in rare times, feeling angry felt right. She was an honest mare after all, and she tried not lying to anyone, least of all herself. If she could feel it in her core that what she was doing was right, that the injustice that incurred her wrath needed to be fought, then she was okay with being a little angry. Today she was not a little angry. She didn't take the time to think about it thoroughly. She made her decisions swiftly and without hesitation and believed in them wholeheartedly. Seeing one single thing, witnessing one single event outside her orchard made her decide her next course of action fairly quickly. On this calm, breezy Ponyville afternoon, Applejack's anger made one very simple and decisive decision for her. Today, she was going to kill the Flim Flam brothers. That's it! Twilight, who was thankfully near the event horizon of this issue, was quick to fly to the farmer and try to calm her down. Applejack, I know it looks bad. This is definitely one of the weirdest schemes they've tried pulling, but... No buts, no ifs, no buts, no nothing! Applejack declared as she stomped a hoop on the floor. I've had it! This bum is going off! They've crossed the damn line! Grimacing awkwardly, the princess tried defusing this bomb. Applejack, come on! They've done worse than this, right? It ain't just this. It's everything. They won't ever stop with their fibbing, their lying, their conniving. This is only the beginning. If we don't stop them now, if I don't stop them now... Her expression hardened as she turned around, facing Ponyville. That's it. I know what I'm gonna do. Applejack, come on, be reasonable. I'm gonna kill the Flim Flam brothers, she muttered with all the sincerity and anger she could muster. And Twilight felt it, deep inside her core, as a cold wind gusted through her heart, and her wings shivered with fear. The element of honesty had just stated out loud that she intended to commit murder. She was far, far from lying. Okay, Applejack, let's just take a moment to breathe, okay? Twilight forced her legs and wings to move, accompanying the farmer's unflinching movements. Murder is a bit too far. We know what they're doing. I can pull some bylaws, use the rules against them, convince them to pull out of Ponyville. That ain't gonna stop them for good. The Earth Pony's gaze was entirely hardened as she moved with unwavering, strong steps towards the town. But I know what will. Me! Look, violence isn't always the answer. It is right now. Killing is wrong. Not always, she gritted her teeth, side-eyeing her friend. You ain't gonna stop me, Twilight. I'm offended you're even trying to talk me out of this. You don't need to be a part of it. Go back to your castle, shut your blinds. It'll be over quick. Can you blame me? You're my friend. I don't want to see you do something you might regret. She fidgeted nervously, glancing at Ponyville fast approaching. Besides, we're meant to protect life. We're meant to save Equestria. I don't think going out being judge, jury, and executioner is a good thing for any of us. None of us should cross this line. You'll regret it. Try. Read my lips. For a moment, she actually smiled. I ain't gonna regret this. Once again, her heart sank. Applejack was telling the truth. Her eyes searched around them frantically, looking for a way out of this mess, some way to convince her friend to stop. Right then, Applejack's family was in sight, at the edge of the orchard and fast approaching. Granny Smith, Big Mac, and Applebloom were all glaring at one of the several booths that were distributed around Ponyville, even around the orchard, all belonging to the Flim Flam brothers. The alicorn flew forward, and despite how much she was sweating, tried her best to use her diplomacy. Granny Smith! Listen to me! Applejack is about to do something crazy, but she'll listen to you. You have to stop her. The old mare tried her best not to scowl. It had been a long and annoying day already, given the action of the two brothers. Excuse me, princess. You're a sweetheart, but we're having a pretty bad day already. Yeah, have you seen what the Flim Flam brothers did this time? Applebloom pouted angrily, pointing to the town and all the new booths that littered the place. This is unforgivable. They've crossed the line. Yup. Big Mac nodded in complete agreement. I can bring them to justice. Probably. Twilight stuttered. They won't get away with this. I promise. But then Applejack passed by them without saying a word, eyes set on her destination. Granny Smith, you have to talk her out of this. She said she's going to kill the Flim Flam brothers. The old mare took a single second to process what she was told. Good riddance. The princess blinked in shock, nearly knocked back by the statement. But killing is wrong. The grandmother shrugged. Wait, my big sis is gonna kill the Flim Flam brothers? Applebloom's jaw dropped and her eyes were filled with surprise. Yes, and she... Awesome! The little foal cheered, hopping up and down. That'll teach him! Twilight dragged a hoop across her face as she groaned. Okay, I get that none of you like those two, but they don't deserve a punishment that steep. Look, can you all just get Applejack to stop, and I'll see if I can, at the very least, get the brothers to be punished for what they did. Meh, the grandmother shrugged. Big Mac simply blinked with disinterest. Applebloom raised an eyebrow. Those two jerks have been conning and lying and cheating ponies all over Equestria, and they never get punished. At least she's gonna stop them. Desperately, the princess beheld the older brother. But Big Mac, you can probably stop Applejack. Could you maybe block her path or something? Nope. She ran through the options on her head pretty quickly. What if I gave you and Sugarbelle a ticket to a cruise or something? Would you help me out here? He took a few seconds to weigh the pros and cons. Nope. She cringed, but still tried. What about entry to a romantic getaway spa in Canterlot? Once again, he spent a little time thinking. Nope. Do you really Want Flim Flam dead that much? Yep. Twilight put on a smile, switching her target. Apple Bloom, she's your big sister. If you convince AJ to stop, I'll let you in on the friendship classes at my school. For a week only. A month. A week. 3 weeks. A week. No deal. Fine. 2 weeks. Only if Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle got to join. Then it's only 1 week. Fine. Twist my leg, why don't you? 1 week, but my friends get to join. Deal. With determined movements, Twilight picked up the little foal and flew towards her friend, who continued to walk unflinchingly towards Ponyville. The Princess of Friendship landed right in front of her, but Applejack didn't stop. She had to constantly walk back, not to be pushed aside. Floating the little sister before them both, Twilight smiled awkwardly. Hey, Applejack, you wouldn't kill some pony in front of your little sister, would you? She didn't even raise an eyebrow. I would if it's the Flim Flam brothers. Apple Bloom pouted, giving her big sister the biggest wet eyes she could. Applejack, what kind of example are you setting for me if you take a life in front of your little sister? Apple Bloom, violence isn't always the answer, but sometimes it is, Applejack stated simply. As a big sister, it's my job to teach you to stand up for yourself and fight for what's right. Now, I don't necessarily want you seeing what I'm about to do, but what I'm about to do is a lesson, no matter how you spin it, and the teacher is now in session. Yay! The little foal cheered. Its class is now in session. Damn that AJ! Twilight huffed in frustration, as she still held the sister. Are you really okay with killing 2 ponies in front of your little sister? Yeah, 'cause 2 ponies are Flim and Flam. She raised an eyebrow smugly. Besides, as if you'd ever let her watch. Touché, the princess groaned in frustration. Deal's off, Apple Bloom. Oh, come on, was all she could say before Twilight moved her back to the farm with her magic and hurried after Applejack. And the farmer was not stopping. She was closer and closer to the town and wasn't slowing down. Applejack, come on. Do you really want to get your hooves bloody like this? You're better than that, the princess pleaded. Blowing up our enemies with the elements of harmony, cracking Flim and Flam's skull. I don't really see the difference, she shrugged, but then smiled. Well, those 2 are gonna be missed less than King Sombra, that's for sure. AJ, I'm begging you to slow down and think about this. The princess stopped in front of her, and the farmer stopped too. This is wrong and too drastic, and if you don't stop, I'll have to stop you. Her horn flared and sparkled. Go ahead and try. Be my guest. Her gaze narrowed. She gritted her teeth, but did not falter. I don't know what kind of friend you think you are threatening me, but you're not doing anything for the greater good, Try. I'm trying to stop a friend from committing murder. She put down her hoot, trying not to lose composure over the glare of the taller earth pony. I think that warrants a bit of force, if necessary. Really? Raising an eyebrow, the farmer tilted her head, knowing the answer already. You'd hurt a friend? For Flim and Flam, no less? The princess knew herself well. She knew she couldn't contain this facade. No, I wouldn't. Then stay out of my way. Applejack moved past her, towards the town. But the princess was not done yet. Taking flight, she intended to get their friends beforehand and enlist their help. If she could help it, Applejack would not take any lives today. Applejack let out an angry snarl as she saw more and more booths that belonged to Flim and Flam around town, and several ponies getting served around them. The machines were self-serving too. Place your bits, get your samples. She was disgusted, but none of it slowed her down. She promised to herself nothing was going to stop her. And Rainbow Dash was the first to try. Landing with agility in front of her, she spread her wings as if to block her path. To no avail. "Hey, AJ, I challenge you to a hoop wrestle." Later. She paid the Pegasus no mind, moving past her easily. Really? Crap, how about a race through the fields? Whoever knocks the most leaves out of the trees? I'm busy. She continued to move unflinchingly. Dude, come on. She frantically tried thinking of anything that could slow her down. How about we see who can buck the most apples in your orchard? Applejack barely looked back, just gave Rainbow a piercing gaze. You know, how about right now? Whoever wins, She hesitated, she was sweating. She had never seen her friend this serious. "If you win, I have to help you with chores. And if I win, you don't kill Flim and Flam." "Of course try put you up to this." Applejack ignored her completely. "You're not slowing me down, Dash. Besides, in an apple bucking competition, you don't stand any chance against me." "Oh, really? You want to bet on that?" She tried putting on a cocky grin, but it didn't last long. "Because I'm pretty free right now. If you wanted to head back to your orchard, we can..." "Later. I got something to do first." Again, her eyes were narrowed, and she did not stop moving forward. "Don't try to stop me, Dash. I don't need to say, or else. You know you're playing with fire. I ain't in the mood." She could barely muster to raise her voice above a fearful whisper. "What if I tell you I'm going to do some pranks on Sweet Apple Acres right now, and the only way you can stop me is by following me back there?" If the farmer's gaze could kill, the Pegasus would be incinerated on the spot. She instantly folded, sitting down, locking her wings firmly to the side. "Oh, okay. Do whatever you want. Sorry. Oh my gosh. You're really doing this, aren't you? Look around you, Dash. They crossed a line," she stated simply, with a shrug. "And I ain't holding back." "Okay. Twilight wasn't kidding. You're about to off those jerks. Oh gosh." Cold sweat ran down the speedster's forehead. Is there anything I could say that would..." "No!" "Well, I tried." She took flight, looking around. "Heads up, the others are going to try to stop you, but I figure you guessed as much. I'm going to go tell Try that this was a dud. Bye." The farmer barely gave out a grumble as a response. She kept moving stalwartly towards where she suspected the two brothers would be. They had to have parked their carriage somewhere around the town after all. And annoyingly for her, another distraction and attempt to slow her down was fast approaching. Hey, AJ! Pinky called out loudly, trying to hide her desperation, getting her attention. "We need your help!" "Later," she huffed, looked away. "I'm busy." But the cake's carriage has a broken wheel. You're the only mare to fix it, right?" The party pony put out an awkward smile. "And after that, I think Cranky Doodle has a broken door. I'm fairly sure you could patch it up if you go grab your tool belt back at the farm. Also, Alo and Lotus complained about the parts on the spa. Muffin said her mail shelf in the post office fell over and..." Applejack silenced her with a hoof to the lips. What's next, Pinky? Did you burn down a house in town and want me to rescue a baby inside? Pinky froze, afraid to look a friend in the eye. Oh, that's not actually a bad idea. Maybe I could. Save it! She turned away. If there is any pony actually needing help, they'll ask me, and I'll tell them the same thing I told you. Later. But Applejack, maybe you could... She froze again as the farmer shot her a glare. Not kill those two? Goodbye. Applejack runned around. Oh, I'm just saying the murder is not very friendship of you. Pinky smiled awkwardly. I don't care, she complained, moving away. If you want to stop me, you'll have to try harder than that. Dang it! The party pony moved in the opposite direction. The apple is still falling from the tree! Repeat, the apple is still falling from the tree! Unleash the diamond! Applejack rolled her eyes, ignoring whatever that meant, focusing on her path forward. On her two targets. Even now, she could tell more and more townsfolk were looking at her, all wary of the expression on her face. Maybe word was spreading of her intent. And her next obstacle was fast approaching. Yoo-hoo! Applejack! Rarity was next in line, approaching her elegantly and flirtatiously while dressed in a scandalous dress. From afar or squinting, she resumed what seemed like a glittery male peacock. Otherwise, with the benefit of looking closely, she looked beautiful, if not overdoing it with the amount of feathers, frills, and shiny bits in her outfit. Applejack, for once, was completely focused and unaffected. Hey, Raz. Darling, it simply cannot be helped. She turned her wiles up to 1,000, dragging her flank across the farmer's and even smacking her side with her tail for good measure. Here I was, putting on this beautiful dress, and now I simply cannot remove it. I'm a bit busy, Raz. Again, she maintained perfect composure, not even dignifying the unicorn with a glance. Maybe later. Applejack, dearest. She tried forcing herself onto the field of view of the farmer with questionable success, her voice melodic and sweet. How about you and I head to the boutique and you can tear this dress off my body, perhaps? Sugar cube. Her voice was rough, stern, dominating, freezing Rarity on the spot, stopping only for a moment to make eye contact. I'm gonna go off and kill the Flim Flam brothers now. You can't stop me, you can't slow me down. If you'd like, as soon as I'm done, I'll come back to the Carousel Boutique and tear that dress off you with my teeth, and we can make love so hard it'll make a crater in your living room. Until then. She turned around and left. Rarity swooned so hard she fainted, and Applejack kept moving. She hoped this obstruction would be the last, but it was not. Fluttershy's bear friend was in one of the plazas of the town, making rehearsed, savage motions, and several ponies around them were also trying to act panicked. Fluttershy herself approached Applejack with a poorly rehearsed script. Oh, no! Applejack, you have to help us! I forgot to feed my friend Harry the bear, and now he's cranky. Could you help me take him back to Everfree? Applejack galloped towards the bear, grabbed him with her front hooves, and suplexed him. The earth quaked with the enormous impact of the animal's back hitting the dirt, and Applejack dusted off a speck of mud off her own cheek, walking away. The force that came from the blast knocked several ponies away and rendered the bear unconscious instantly. Fluttershy was utterly dumbfounded, unable to speak. I'll help you move him back to your shack once I'm done, Applejack noted as she moved away. Bye, Fluttershy. And there it was. The Flim Flam carriage was in sight. Nothing was going to stop her, not even divine intervention. And just then, the Princess of the Sun descended from the heavens and landed before her. "Applejack!" Celestia beheld her with a soft, empathetic expression, tilting her head. "Taking a life is not the solution here, much less two. I've been where you are many centuries ago, and I must tell you, it will not go as easy as you hoped for. Please, let me tell you the story of how I..." Applejack walked to her side and tipped her over like a cow. "Oh!" The princess was surprised for only a second as she laid in the dirt sideways. "Oh dear!" She let out a sigh of annoyance. With a huff, Applejack kept moving. "Go on then! Don't mind me!" The princess complained behind her and was ignored. Twilight Sparkle was frantically trying to talk to the two brothers, trying to get them to leave with questionable results. The two of them wore cocky smiles as usual, completely unbothered. "Please, Twilight Sparkle, that Farmer Hick wouldn't hurt a fly. Sure, she may not be our biggest fan," Flim began, "but she is much too honest to stoop to senseless violence, be it for one con or another," Flam completed. I'm saying that you two are in danger. You need to leave Ponyville now." She desperately tried, warning, glancing back and seeing the farmer fast approaching. "So seriously, she's going to do something crazy." "Leave Ponyville? Why, we have the proper permits," Flim teased, completely unafraid. "Would you like to see the paperwork, Princess? Our business is as legit as it comes," Flam mocked. No, it isn't. The mayor didn't approve of..." She looked back and panicked. Applejack was really close now. She's going to kill you!" The two brothers gave each other surprising looks and for a moment considered the severity of the situation. And then they simply burst out laughing. "Oh, I did not realize the princess was a comedian as well. Good one, Twilight Sparkle. Deeply amusing, but our business is perfectly legitimate, and there is nothing she can do. Go on, run along now. There's a customer behind you, eager for our products." Look, you don't understand." "Try," Applejack commanded her with a raspy snarl. "Move." The princess was out of moves. Unwillingly, yet resigned, she left the trio, considering her options and realizing Celestia needed to be lifted. "Don't say I didn't warn you." And the two brothers continued to underestimate the bearer of the element of honesty. "Come to us to deliver us a customer complaint?" Flim raised a mocking eyebrow and with his magic brought forth a tiny trash can. "Here is the receptacle. If you have any complaints to file, we are always accepting constructive criticism." Flam lied and joked at the farmer's expense. "I'm sure whatever it is you have to critique will surely be a flaw in our..." "I'm here to kill ya." She stated simply, coldly, her voice rough and ready, her muscles tensing, dragging a hoof across the dirt. Once again, the two brothers froze for a second, looking amongst each other, then burst out laughing at her expense. Applejack blew air out of her nostrils. "If I let y'all keep running around, y'all con my granny out of her own hip replacements. Never mind stealing candy from the occasional baby. I can't let you continue your dishonest lifestyle any longer." They laughed even more, leaning on each other. "Why, isn't this just rich?" The even-tempered farmer is going to put us out of our misery, dear brother. I am simply quaking in fear why our business must not have been up to par with her expectations. He turned to her with a mocking grin. Afraid of a little competition, farmer? You built self-service booths that deliver oranges to any paying customer and put them all around Ponyville! Her screams echoed through the valley. And for that, I'm gonna kill you! Flim laughed at her screams, but Flam fell silent because he came to a horrifying realization. But brother, oh good heavens brother, stop laughing! He pleaded in horror, trying to pass his realization on to Flim. She never lies! But it was too late. Applejack was upon them. The Ponyville Express. Beloved town handywoman rids Ponyville of con artists for good. When asked about her actions, Farmer denied any and all form of remorse. The con artists locally known as Flim and Flam have shown their faces around Ponyville and peddled their shoddy products on us many times. Think back to a few years and you'll remember when they tried outsidering Sweet Apple Acres and how the two brothers wanted nothing more and nothing less to drive our beloved Apple family from out our town. Luckily, they were unsuccessful. Today, Flim and Flam showed their faces in our beloved town once more, and this time our much beloved local handywoman, Applejack Apple, decided her patience had run thin. The con artists placed several illegal booths around town and deployed a self-serving style of fruit delivery upon any customer unlucky enough to be lured by their delight. Applejack saw this not just as another form of illegal competition from the two brothers, but as the last straw. Taking matters into her very own hands, she found the two brothers and murdered them. Now, here in Ponyville Express, we do not condone murder, but what Applejack has done for us was a great service, and we'd like to thank her for not raising our officers when she asked her for interviews as well. We have no reason to be scared, of course, but the explosion resulted. Repairs in edge of town still thoroughly underway. You ain't ever catching me weeping at those two lies' graves. I don't regret killing them, and you can quote me on that. Applejack Apple, Town Helper.
Snapped in Applejack like a wasp right in a sneeze. She saw the booth, the scams, the citrus-colored shame, and decided then and there today she'd end the game. Twilight flapped her wings and begged her to be kind, but honesty don't flinch when she's made up her mind. Now she's trotting toward town like a thundercloud of war. She ain't stopping for her family, her friends, or Celestia's lore. No debates, no appeals, no posting bail. If you're selling fruit near Sweet Apple Acres, you better write a will. Rainbow tried distraction, Pinky played pretend. Rarity got spicy, but she couldn't even bend. Flush I brought a bear, got suplexed on the spot. And when Celestia tried to talk, AJ tipped her judgment's setting in. She ain't using the elements, no rainbow blast from the sky. This justice comes in apple bucket form, and she don't need to justify. Family said good riddance, Twilight said please don't. But when AJ says she's killing you, you won't be missed, you won't. Now there's silence in the valley where the orange booth stood proud. One honest mare just snapped and made her family mighty proud. Violence don't solve nothing, well it sure solved them. So raise a cider to the day she flim-flammed the flim-flam man. She don't lie, she don't bluff, and she don't give a damn. Justice rides on horseback, it rides like Applejack can.
It's the Mystery Pony Fiction channel. Also available as a podcast on Spotify. And Izzy Moonbow is best pony, by the way. Fiction. Bro, hoof, comment, subscribe.